when it comes to the steering wheel of an interview. A lot of people rely on the energy of the interviewer. They show up and they're like, if the interviewer is high energy and is great, like great, you're set up for success, amazing. But what if they're not?
That was EmRezkalla. She is a career coach on TikTok and Instagram, and she has lent herself interview success after interview success to show that she's got what it takes to help just about anybody land their next job and have success in the interviewing process.
I'm being chased by a bear. Like I'm like about to pass out and die. And that's just what your internal nervous system is doing. So it's very hard to change how you are if your nervous system's already like here.
So that's why today we're sitting down with her on the podcast to talk about all things career, but also so much more. She goes into the psychology of winning in interviews, as well as giving us the deep dive on her own entrepreneurial journey. Em's got a crazy story where she moved from Toronto to Vancouver with only 3 months of runway to go after her goals of living in her dream city, Vancouver, and then starting a brand new business all along with it, gaining a few good thousands of followers across social media in the process, and coaching countless clients to help them in their career ambitions.
So anyway, my first year full time, which was like, I guess my 2.5 year mark total, I was scraping by. I definitely put in more hours because of it than I was paid to do, and I burned out. The authenticity piece, I think, is also interesting when it comes to careers, because now people are like so willing to post these things about their lives for everyone to see, including employers. It's like kind of, once it's on the internet, it's kind of there.
So if you're looking for a value-packed podcast episode that's also just fun to listen to, I think this one's going to be the episode for you. Let's jump on into it.
We'll kick it off then. All right, you're like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I asked you to tell me what we're talking about and refused.
We're here to talk about you.
Cool.
So thanks for coming on. This is the drop. So for the audience, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
So existential. Who I am. I'm Emily Rezkalla. Do I look at the camera?
You look at me, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm Emily Rezkalla. I am a career coach and content creator. So if that is just going to be like the simple terms of what I do and who I am. But at my core, like I'm a girl from Toronto who lives in Vancouver, very type A, but also super goofy and certified yapper and just like all of those charming qualities that you can imagine.
Nice.
But also
perfect for a podcast.
Right, exactly. You vetted well. But the parts of my work, I would say, that I mainly do is like consulting with people one-on-one. That's how I started. And help with interview prep and salary negotiation. But now I work with businesses on their like marketing to people who are looking for jobs and like career education. And that's kind of been my creme de la creme, I guess, of my work.
Nice.
Got to incorporate some food in there. And right, yes. What does that mean?
What? I don't know. You like food.
I do like food.
You eat out twice a week, we learned.
Oh, that was totally in confidence. But who doesn't like food?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to eat it.
That's fair. But I'll take it as an identifier if anything.
I like it.
Yeah. And yeah, I just turned 30 this year. I'm pretty pumped about that.
Nice.
And feel very settled in Vancouver. I just moved, and not from Toronto to Vancouver, but I just moved into like a different space in Vancouver, and just feel at my core that at this moment I'm kind of trying to push myself to do uncomfortable things, and I don't know what direction that is right now, but right now I just like to educate people. Cool. That's my favorite thing to do.
So what's your biggest why to educate people? What do you love about it? Is it the impact of it? Is it like connecting with people? Good
question. I would say like from a selfish side, I feel like something I like to say is knowledge is only as valuable as it is shared. And I feel like when I keep things to myself, it feels very like selfish. And I don't know. I feel like my ethos, it's hard to say like the why I do it every time because it feels different every time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those empathy, gratitude moments when someone gets the salary they want. I feel like I got the salary I wanted, even though like I'm not getting paid that like at
Nice.
all. It's more like I feel like they got the job. I feel like I got the job. That like feeling kind of transfers. But I like to think that the reason I do it is like I really like to be better for people instead of then
Okay.
people.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good angle.
It's
Yeah.
not.
No.
It's not. It's
It's a good way to frame it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
And it just I don't know. I feel like if I don't take what I'm learning or what I'm doing and give it to other people, it feels like a plateau. There's like a glass ceiling to myself. There's only so much I can do with the information that I have, right? And when you share it, the opportunities just expand. And I really like, the scale of impact that has on people.
Okay.
And the feelings of security and capability and all of those, like, I would say like growth feelings that people attain, because it really snowballs. When people have like good results, they start to feel more confident, and then they get more momentum with those things. So it becomes like even bigger. So that's why I really like it.
Love that.
Yeah.
So as a career coach, when did you figure out that you could help people? Because I feel like from getting to know you, my curiosity is like, or like one thing that's been in the back of my mind is like, I remember in university, like we would have like career coaches. Or
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, and I was always just like, what is this like university recruiter consulting person who tells me how to write my resume? No, because they've never, like, I don't know what their professional experience is or all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got into it. Like maybe they took like an HR degree and then they kind of got into the recruiting side, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was it for you? Like, when did you know that you had something that could help people that they couldn't help themselves with?
Yeah. I wish I can say I figured it out on my own, but I had people tell me that I was good at it. And that's also really important. Like, I was surrounded by people who were willing to like challenge me and give me feedback and also observe me in a healthy way. And so, basically I've always had like 2 to 3 jobs at once, and have had a weird non-linear path of jobs, which I think a lot of people do right now.
Yeah.
The non-linear path is like kind of the standard now.
Yeah.
But when I was doing it, it was not. And I had accumulated this like 80% interview to job offer rate. And I didn't really even know it at the time. I was like, oh, I'm good at interviews. Sick. I have a job. I get paid. Amazing. Like and I go back to school and I'm like, okay. And I started helping friends with their interviews. And eventually those were referred out. And then people were like, can I pay you for your time? This is really, and I was like, wait, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not going to say no if they're very insistent. And then I had friends who were like, you really should like pursue this. And then I also met someone who is in comedy, and they posted on social media, and I saw myself in her, and I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I'm very visual. So I started just literally yapping online the same crap, not crap, but like good crap. Cause,
Yap crap.
Pardon?
Yap crap.
Yap crap, but impactful yap crap.
Yeah, there you go.
TM. And I just did it kind of to get market validation, because I just started. I'm like, does this work for everybody or just the people I'm working with? And it worked for like a good chunk of people, and it started going viral, and I just started kind of sharing my knowledge that way. So I don't have an HR background. I actually am kind of a non-resume believer.
Okay.
Sounds so,
tell me more.
So woo-woo, non-resume believer. Putting like the way I got my first job, it wasn't through a resume. And most of my jobs actually weren't from my resume. It's from like networking and kind of unconventional ways. We can get into that in another question or another time. But I would say like I don't have like that traditional mindset. I can kind of break down both people who are introverted and extroverted, the like tactics of as a human to kind of like suppress the nerves and allow and enable like your strengths, whether you're an introvert and extrovert. There's a lot of people who like, you can only get an interview if you're really extroverted, if you can talk and do all these things. And there's definitely strategies around that. So I feel like I kind of like understand humans and connection with people. And that's kind of my unique approach.
So you have a natural inclination to dealing with people or getting to know people or like relating to people in a way. Like, have you always been a people person then? And you kind of understand at like a intuitive level, like psychology in a way? Is that a part of this?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say when it comes to people, I ask a lot of questions. I'm a big question asker, so being on the other side of it is like very
Cool.
weird.
This is perfect for you.
Yeah, perfect. This is like exposure therapy. I'm like, oh, this is what my clients feel like. But I ask a lot of questions, but as a part of my question asking, I really do it for the sake of like trying to like connect with someone and not try to inquire. I think there's a difference.
Nice.
Inquiring is like very coming from a selfish place. At the end of the day, like if you don't connect with someone, it's like that just like is what it is. And forcing it is something I think people feel like they can try and manufacture. The best way I can put it, if I were to just put it like in one sentence so I don't yap forever.
No, you can by all means.
Is I like to think that I try and approach people with a profound energy instead of a performative one.
I see.
Which is more like depth over display. So I don't care if I swear. I'm not going to swear right now. But I don't care if I swear with someone out the gate or say something a little unhinged. I think I mentioned to you before, it's like this thing called connection bidding. And it's kind of like a fast track way of connecting with someone without having to do like the small talk or like tiptoe around. Like, do we have the same interest? Are you kind of like goofy like me or watch, I don't know, anime, like things that people like normally wouldn't bring up in like a professional setting. And those types of things are like human because they're outside the scope of like a societal norm. And I feel like careers, because it's such a human made concept, people feel like they need to fit in. It just like jumping right into career stuff feels very, I hate to say it, but fake for a lot of people because it's kind of manufactured to be its own bubble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I find that when I talk to people, I kind of don't go in that bubble to start at all. In fact, I try not to because I'm not the expert in your job. I'm trying to be the expert in how the person can advocate for themselves and think differently and kind of also be an observer on their side because you can't act differently. Not act differently. You can't think differently and you can't advocate for yourself unless you're a really good observer. And I feel like people are so worried about themselves and how they look and what they say and all these things without listening. And so
I really like that.
I just went on a tangent.
No, that was great.
Yeah.
I you saw me, I guess, like react with like,
kind of. Yeah.
Because I know someone right now that like they don't observe, and I never connected that dot that you just. They're very in their head. So yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
The one thing you said that that I also flagged with. So
you flagged.
Yeah,
I just want to clarify the flagging.
I flagged it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like in high school.
Throwback.
Yeah, throwback. Or even maybe like early university, but it's like when you're first starting to date or like you don't know how to like do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I remember I don't know in what context I heard this, but it has stuck with me like forever. And it kind of like ties into what you're saying, but it's like if you go on a date and the first question's like, what's your favorite color? And that's like, the way someone thinks that this
was
like,
early university?
That's why I said high school. I said high school. Yeah. I mean, hey, roast me.
No, it's fine.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, damn.
No,
Sorry.
I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah, apparently.
But it's like, you try to get to know somebody and it's like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite car? Like, I think of maybe was like a metaphor of like, you're trying to, like, you think you're asking personal questions as if like your favorite color is something that matters to you, but that's not actually a way to like relate to somebody or like to get to know them.
It's a very safe bid for a connection.
Yeah,
like, it's like the lowest. It's like talking about the weather. Like, you think it's cold too.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like the weather.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but it's such like it's a turn off because someone who is looking to actually connect with somebody, like you and I got together and all of a sudden, like, we're two people that we're not gonna put on a front or like, we're gonna find a way to get along. Even
Pretty
if we
straightforward.
Don't. Yeah, exactly. And like our personalities are either gonna mesh or they're not, and then we're gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
But if you're trying to like hide something and keep it surface level, then that's where the issues come. I'd imagine. And so that's something that I think like when you're in a career setting, I guess you see is that like you go into an interview and so the second point this leads me to is like you can go into an interview, in my experience, and you can prep and rehearse your answers and like script responses to like, tell me about a time when you had to deal with like a high stress situation, and you're like, you come up with your fake 3 reasons and your stories and whatever. Or you can actually know those situations on a fundamental level, and then I think the most successful conversations in a job setting are when you take control of the interview as an interviewee.
Yes.
And guide it as a conversation, not as a back and forth. Is that how an introvert in your case like would thrive in these settings, is knowing how to do that? Is that like what you help also with who you work with at all, or no?
You said introvert, so I'll answer it in 2.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
Because the introvert's like a whole separate thing because I just like don't want I never want to force someone to be different than how they are. Like, if you're introverted, you need to be louder or you need to like speak up, and like that's kind of forcing it, and that's being performative sometimes. Like, there's one thing to give you practice is to be a little bit more confident in your speaking, but like to say you have to be like extra and like be extroverted instead, that's a no bueno situation for me.
Okay.
But when it comes to the steering wheel of an interview,
I like how you put that.
Yeah, just a little driving.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that one you use a lot? Like you call it that?
I guess inherently, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Because a lot of people rely on the energy of the interviewer.
Right.
They show up and they're like, if the interviewer is high energy and is great, like, great, you're set up for success. Amazing. But what if they're not?
Yeah.
You can't rely on their energy if they don't show up and they're happy to see you or happy to even be there. Because then you're just set up to fail.
Yeah.
And that's like you just allowing someone else to dictate that. So a lot of people do rely on the energy of the interviewer. They're on their phone and all that stuff, and they dissociate, and then the interviewee dissociates because like, oh, okay, this person's not listening. At the end of the day, if they're not listening, you can like still practice and you can still show up fully.
And hope.
And hope, right? Like you just, if that person, their first impression makes you give up on yourself immediately, that means you gave up pretty easily.
Right.
So yeah, it's meant to be a conversation. And I think the amount of like prep and rehearsal type thing, and you saying at your core, like knowing it, like what the heck does knowing it even mean? It comes down to what I like to say is like, before you even think of a scenario, you need to like think about like, okay, let me be honest with myself. How do I actually approach conflict? Do I actually talk to people during conflict? And if I don't, how can I come up with an answer around the scenarios that I do have that still sounds professional and is like me? Because people will manufacture answers.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
that's,
sure.
yeah. And that's performative. And I think there's a difference between being, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, there's a difference between impressive and being impressionable.
Okay. Elaborate.
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like you're leaving an impression versus trying to be impressive. Like I guess at my core I talk a lot about like the outcome of things. That like, oh, that answer was either impressive or it was impressionable.
Mhm.
And impressive is performative. Like, oh, that was an impressive answer, but like it was someone else's answer that you took.
Right.
And it wasn't impressionable because you didn't land. Like you just kind of said it verbatim and it didn't have passion. Like I don't even want to use the word I actually hate using the word passion. It's such a clickbaity word, but it didn't have like emphasis and like feeling to it. And I think to just tie it with a bow, the answer to your question without the introverted part is people forget to like prep themselves emotionally for interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Like
The jarringness of the conversation or the stressfulness of it, or
your nervous system is like, I'm being chased by a bear.
Right. Yeah.
Like I am like about to pass out and die. Like, and that's just what your internal nervous system is doing. So it's very hard to like be like, if you're introverted, to change how you are if your nervous system's already like here and you're afraid. That is like in the most difficult state you can do anything like a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're in like a like it's just playing on hard mode essentially.
Yeah. You're making it harder for yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's not even their fault. Like it's an interview. It's high stakes.
Right.
So like the preparation people neglect is like getting emotionally ready for it and like really thinking about, for an example, an introvert setting themselves up for success is feeling like they don't have to be the over talker and feel like they have to like be loud. What I like to tell people who are introverted is prep a visual, hide behind the deck, prep a visual, be like, hey, I know this is not a part of the interview. I put something together. It's going to tell my story for any of your standard questions that you ask. And if there are any new questions, I'm happy to answer them. And it's like that going into it, having a visual or like letting like your deck speak for itself, that has worked for a lot of my clients. And that's just one example. You can send it in advance, you can do it during. It kind of alleviates the need to be louder by speaking, when you can kind of somewhat not hide, but like utilize your skills in other methods.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think so I want to kind of change gears a little bit.
Yeah, I yapped a lot with that one.
No, that's okay. But I think like it's cool for me because one thought I had is like I have such a ingrained idea of what an interview is supposed to be in my mind.
What is that?
Well, you walk into a room, it's probably going to be a panel, 2 people, maybe 3.
Okay.
One of them's an observer taking notes. 2 of them are actually talking to you. And then like you can obviously have one-on-ones, but that doesn't really, I don't know about you. You obviously see a lot more people getting interviews than I do, but I've rarely been in a room with one person interviewing me.
Okay.
And your job is to sit in the hot seat, and I personally have the goal of taking control of the room. So if I go into that conversation, like I will end up interviewing them with my responses to what their interview
Do you ask a question at the end of your answers?
No. What I mean by that is like my tactic usually is to essentially give such a response that they don't necessarily know how to format the response back. So what I mean by that is like I remember one job I got early on was with a brewery in Toronto, and I remember it was 3 people, and they were asking me social media questions.
Okay.
Because I was just growing my Instagram. I think I was around like 10,000 followers, like, you
nice.
know, and yeah. And they were like, so my goal was to figure out how much do they know about social media in the interview.
Oh.
And that way I knew how much leverage I had for the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I would basically tell them everything I knew that was relevant to what they were asking at a very in-depth level to see how they would react. And then that was me taking control of the interview, because now I knew more than they did about the job that they were hiring for, because typically like what my impression of hiring is like you're hiring me because you either have a gap, you might have a gap in knowledge, and you have a need for the organization, and in a lot of cases they have both an organizational gap and a knowledge gap, and they're hoping that the person who comes in knows more than they do.
Yeah, of course.
And then that's when you know that if you really show them that you know more than they do, that's how you get the job.
True. Yeah.
And then you have control of the conversation. That's my like equals control of the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you treat it like you kind of treat it like a discovery call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was doing that without actually knowing I was doing that. Like thinking back to when I first started getting jobs and stuff, like that was just me.
Right.
And then I think it naturally, now that you just said that, it's like it makes sense that I ran my own business, because like
I was doing this the entire time.
I was doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So that's, but yeah, no, you're 100% correct with that. I think so the mold, I guess, is in our minds, is what, to bring it back to that, because I would never have imagined to bring a deck with me to an interview, but you can.
You could
There's
draw.
no
You
reason,
could go on the whiteboard and draw a diagram and just speak to that, instead of having the need to, like, if you're in person, which is rare these days. But to stand out right now these days is to be memorable, and to be memorable is to do something different, or to be bold in some sort of way. And when I say be bold, it doesn't mean be louder. It just means be different.
Nice.
Or take a risk. And a risk is just doing something that's non-traditional in an interview. And for you, it was kind of like switching the roles in a way. And they probably were like, "Oh, I guess so." And then they kind of rolled with it because you commanded it. But there's different approaches to it. And some might say, like, yeah, that's a great way to do it. Everyone, the online world with careers, like, everyone should do that if it works. And it's like the universal advice doesn't exist. So, but like the concept of doing a different tactic that brings out your strengths is just like the formula that works for you and is very extroverted of you.
Yeah, I guess.
And yeah, like, for example, do you bring a notebook and a pen to an interview ever?
I used to, and then I found it got in the way.
It got in the way?
Yeah, for me.
For what? How?
So I think I have ADD.
Okay. I saw your eyes just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is why.
Yeah, like I'm definitely like in any conversation I'm having with anybody, I try so hard to be in the moment, but I've got like two separate thought lines lying underneath the entire time. And it's just like impossible to eliminate. But if I can, like, this is like what I do. I'm being fully honest with you. Like,
yeah, don't lie.
Why would you lie?
Yeah.
Like, I'll just keep the notebook in my head. So instead of making my two separate thoughts about my workout that I want to do tomorrow and like what I'm going to have for dinner, I don't know, I'll just make it about like the notes that I'm making about what you're saying. And then I'll run that. And that's my notebook in my head. If I have to write it down, now all of a sudden I'm adding something extra into the mix when like my own thought process works for me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it just almost became like a distraction. And then I can't focus on you as I'm focusing on the notebook. And then I don't even process what you're saying. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're an internal processor.
Oh yeah, fully.
I'm a fully external processor.
I've learned, and everybody on the streets of Vancouver learned at our photo shoot. You're a little like jarred. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I literally I say it's something I'm working on.
We almost got into a fight.
Yeah, me, not you.
Yeah, well, it would have fell on me to.
Yeah, probably. I would have ran away. Bye. But I guess for context, people don't know we did a photo shoot.
Yeah,
like,
we did a photo shoot.
We did a photo shoot.
And helped us out
in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I was just externally processing, like. I just say what I'm thinking. Yeah, something smell bad. I'm like, what is that smell? And I don't realize I'm saying it. Who's around me? Carrying the Vancouver experience. But it's something I'm working on because there's like a elegance and not elegance. It's like very eloquent to be able to process internally and be able to spit out the polished version of what you want to say, but there's also a pro to saying the raw thing that's like just straight from the brain, and also part of probably why I connect with people, because I don't really overthink what I say.
Gotcha.
I just kind of say
Love that. I appreciate that quality.
It's funny because it's not really something I do intentionally. It just is.
Mhm.
And there's pros and cons, truly.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
sure.
interesting that you're an internal processor, because that probably helps a lot, because that's why the notebook probably doesn't work. You're like, this is externalizing it in an extra process it doesn't need to be in. It could just go straight to your mouth because it's already doing the steps inside.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are internal processors, and they struggle to get it past like the funnel of what they want to say. They have it in their head, but then to actually say it, they're worried about saying the wrong thing.
I see.
And I think the funny part about what the ingredient is really, I hate, this is another buzzword, I hate it, is like having like kind of audacity. Cause like, just like I have the audacity to just say it. And if it's not right, fine.
Yeah.
But people want to be like
Right. Yeah.
And being wrong is actually kind of a gift, because then you're like, I don't know. I find when I'm told I'm wrong, I'm like, wow, like cool. This is like a human experience. Being right all the time feels pretty freaking shallow and surface level, and probably incorrect. Who's right all the time?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a tangent. I just think internal processing is, and I'm intrigued by it because I cannot access that at all. So the whole notebook thing is really helpful for me.
Yeah.
But it's a part of when I talk to people with coaching, is I try to figure out if they're internal or an external processor, because that's a big factor.
And that changes the approach to
100%.
Very cool.
And that's different from extrovert and introvert, because you can still, a lot of introverts are internal processors, but you can still say everything pretty quickly if you're introverted. It's just, there's so many things, layers to go into it. Yeah, I can go on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so curious, like the career tips aspect to this conversation.
Oh yeah,
I feel like there's a lot that we could unpack, and you could just like.
I know. I'm trying not to get into the technical.
No, like I'm
so
into
many.
it. Yeah, I'm into it. I almost want to make. I do have like we've answered a couple of the career tip sort of questions, because like obviously that's a part of who you are. But I'm also curious, not in your origin story, because you've kind of I think you've shared the important parts of like how you've evolved. But I'm almost curious about like how you've built your career coach like business skill set, if that makes sense. Cause I feel like this is a hard one to get started. Like, so like you started on TikTok.
Yep.
You started to gain a following. So you knew what you were saying was resonating with people.
It was, yeah.
And then from there it was, I'm assuming, one-to-one meetings, helping people. Yep. So what is it? So it's been 3 or 4 years doing this?
Since 2021. So 4.5, I guess. Or no, yeah, somewhere around there, but I've only been doing it full time for almost 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How has the business success evolved over the years?
It was humbling.
Okay.
The first year was really rough. Not the first year, sorry. That was my first year being full time.
I was assuming.
Yeah, the first year starting was really exciting, and it was popping off. It was doing really well. I got one-on-one coaching calls. I had a digital product. I had an interview prep pack and for beginners, so it was very clear who it was for. And content deals, like content brand deals.
Gotcha.
Those were cool. My first partnership was Notion. That was
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've always wished I got one from Notion. I've never got one.
I literally got it within my first. Sorry.
Here we go.
Within my first month.
Yeah.
My first month
Congrats.
of. Yes, thank you.
That's huge.
I didn't partner with them after that.
Yeah.
Sadly, I wish I did. I feel
Fair
like it
enough.
would have made more sense.
Affiliate deals with them would be cool.
Yeah. But that it was going really well, and I was working. I had 2 full-time jobs, not at the same time, but during that time, I was in my last leg of working for the provincial government during
Ontario.
Of Ontario, not BC. I was still in Toronto. Yes. This was 4.5 years ago. So that was when I was living in Yonge and Eglinton. And I was working in government and doing not boring stuff, actually, because COVID brought a lot of unboring stuff, because I helped with CERB with businesses, and that was really fun. It was fun and impactful. But I ended up basically during COVID learning to code, and I learned SQL and Java.
Wow.
And I would say at a very beginner level, but also at a very good understanding of it. I'm really good at research, but when it comes to implementation, I think I had a very beginner standard, because I didn't build, it was only like a few months in to build a bunch of projects. Didn't have that much experience. But I'm the type of person to like try something even if I have like half the experience.
That's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate
you don't
that.
have to be fully prepared.
Yeah, you don't.
So I ended up networking and telling people I was doing this, and was told, oh, there's a data analyst role at this job. What's your salary range? And I'm not going to lie. I kind of like just threw out a crazy number, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to ask that. So I was kind of put on the spot.
Yeah.
And I was set up for an interview. Again, no resume. I did apply. I gave them my resume after the interview was set up.
Okay.
But got the job, and I worked in data analytics. So everything was going well in my first year with the coaching,
Nice.
because I had all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
It was still secondary-ish.
it was definitely secondary.
Okay.
It was definitely secondary. I didn't think I was capable of doing it full time, to be honest. And then I moved to Vancouver, and like perspectives change, and yeah, I know I'm like I love Vancouver.
Yeah.
But it's not even that I love Vancouver. As a city, I do, but I love who I am in Vancouver. That's the difference. Yeah. So I think that changed a lot. And so anyway, my first year full time, which was like, I guess my 2.5 year mark total, I was scraping by. I was scraping by. I was making under 50K a year.
Wow.
Well, a year for that year, that first year. And got money back in my taxes. That's how you know. That's how you know.
Yep.
Yes. That's how you know. I didn't owe the government money, so that's how you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, second year, it got better by like 25%. And then my third year, it like doubled. And it was purely because I changed my business model from just one-on-ones with individuals to working with businesses. Because I think we talked about, this is my final point. I think we talked about.
No need to rush.
I know, but I just like, there's so much to unpack. And I'm like, the questions you ask are like so layered. Yeah. And I'm trying to answer it all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. You're so welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. I've been validated.
Oh, yeah.
So my ethos, we've talked about this around doing one-on-one coaching. It started to get really hard because I was charging people like not a cheap amount of money per hour. And they would tell me in our calls that I saved up for this, and like, this is a really big deal for me. And like the normal stuff people say when they're trying to get a job, like, oh, I've been a mom and I haven't had a job in like 3 years. This is going to be really big for me. And these are normal things to say to a career coach. I was I'm still young, but I was quite young, early days, like second year, when people would say these things, and I felt all of it. And it was heavy, and I definitely put in more hours because of it than I was paid to do, and I burned out. And it didn't feel fulfilling anymore, because I felt like I was putting too much energy into these people who deserved it, and they would get the job, the 80% success rate. But I just felt like I wasn't like, now the joy is gone from it. So I changed my business model to balance that out. And I actually haven't done one-on-one coaching in like 6 months. I've been taking a break. But I do referrals too sometimes when people are referred to me, but it just hasn't been open.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just to kind of manage that. But my business model has been mostly working with businesses, because my ethos is now I don't want to take money from people who are seeking out stability and a job, despite me getting them a good outcome. It's like that whole journey is so taxing, and I just felt that.
There's like a moral component to it.
You know what's so funny? I've talked about this with people who are in business, and they're like, "You need to get over it. That's just business. Like you shouldn't feel any way about selling your service to people." And fair, totally fair. But I just felt like putting all my eggs in that basket was creating this weird transactional relationship with these people, even though I was feeling all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I just think like it's funny because. In a way, what you're talking about is like conscious capitalism.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. There's a label for it.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think there is a label for it. Like,
nice.
And we just don't practice that. So
who's we?
Like society in every way. Right. So it's like I remember like one thing that I learned in my undergraduate, obviously as a sustainability student, is like
right. Yeah. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're the
part of me that nobody knows exists.
Right. Fair.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Now they do. Like we had to take like philosophy courses. I remember.
Oh,
like
those were hard.
I could not believe that you can make math equations with words.
No, for real. They were like formulas.
Yeah.
Oh, I took only one class. And
brutal.
In my brain.
Brutal. But I loved it because it just opened up my entire like I had no idea that stuff even existed. Like no clue. Like I was just blown away every class.
Really?
Probably actually one of my best professors. I don't remember his name, but that class just like changed my worldview, if I'm being honest.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who's the prof? Shut him out.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Oh no.
Psych 201 maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Here you go.
Yeah, Waterloo.
Shout out Waterloo.
I wish I knew his name. I'm sure I could find an old syllabus on the internet, but no, but so like they would bring you down. This is my tangent quickly.
No, tell me.
They would bring you down rabbit holes effectively like why businesses need to incorporate sustainability. So it was environmental philosophy like sustainable philosophy or something. And it was about like why businesses need to incorporate like environmental perspectives into how they do business, whether you're an oil company or you're like a organic algae company looking to like give protein to starving children somewhere. Like all ends of the spectrum was the idea. But they would start you in like 1200 BCE philosophy, like origins to like 1700s, 1800s. Like now we're talking about environmental concepts for the first time. And there's like some mine in America that had the very first environmental disaster ever recorded, and this is how they dealt with it. And the moral, like, it was wild, and it was like, yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
But the whole point was that, like, for the degree, like, because businesses aren't practicing with sustainable initiatives in mind, why do you, as a student of sustainability, like, need to be an advocate for it, and then thus integrate sustainable business practices when you are in your career? Because the only thing that like ever really amounted from the sustainability movement, from my perspective, and I doubt anybody's listening that like is this nerdy into this stuff. Like
people like to listen to people be nerdy. So
yeah, I
good.
guess. But if they want to like if I want to harp on me about this, I'm going to be a little bit harsh. But like, there's only two things from my perspective that came from the sustainability movement. One, sustainability reporting.
Oh, true.
And as part of sustainability reporting, sustainable finance, which is now gone in the last 6 months.
Sustainable finance.
Yeah. So a lot of like a lot of investment.
Got it.
Yeah. They had to like have sustainable portfolios, or like they had to ensure that their investments were carbon neutral, like on net, like all these different things. But those are regulatory requirements that like no longer exist since things have changed over the last short-term period of time.
Yeah.
In every country because of one specific change. And the sustainability reporting, like nobody cares because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, it provides transparency, but people still don't care.
Right. So it's not valued. And so the inherent like conundrum is that like if you're not acting with conscious capitalism in mind, then it will never be valued, because a bad actor will always be more incentivized to profit off of the act of whatever trade they're in without keeping the sustainability values in what they're doing. So similar to you, in your case, like this is a very roundabout way to kind of say this, but it just applies to every industry.
Yeah.
Is that like if no one's acting with morality in how they're selling to people services on taking advantage to people who are helpless,
Yeah.
then no one will act with morality because it's a race to the bottom. And it's the same thing whether
Yikes.
you're
Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever thought about it that way.
No, I think I have, but not in this like articulated way.
Yeah. This is my undergrad, and it was depressing.
That's heavy.
Yeah. It gets worse.
That's heavy, and you paid for that.
I paid to do
No one's
this.
paying
Yeah,
you
exactly
to go to that.
to learn this stuff.
That's
Every
crazy.
class at every day of my undergraduate degree.
That's
I
Waterloo,
went
guys.
home sad. Yeah,
I went to Laurier.
it was way better.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's why we don't party. We were just you guys party.
No, you guys were a little depressed. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, that makes sense. I think, yeah, it's funny. I just think I'm not thinking of myself as a movement quite yet.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I do think of myself as like an agent, like a catalyst of that. But no, what I was trying to get at with that is I eventually see myself creating some sort of movement for like accessibility and career education, because right now accessibility is very different, and for like based on your socioeconomic status, the color of your skin, all of these things. Like I'm white presenting, and like something I say will not resonate with every single race, and there are challenges that they encounter, and like I'm hyper aware of that. And it's like one of those things that like I can only do what I can do and like enable more catalysts who are in those spaces. And yeah, and I think just at its core right now, I haven't even thought of it as that grand of a movement. And now it's like, it's helpful to remind myself of that, because I'm thinking individually like how I can just spread my ethos and education with my services and support for people and getting jobs, and also just I like to say like being more like leadership material, and that doesn't mean being like a leader in a corp. It just means like having leadership as a characteristic. But yeah, I think there's some, you're kind of bringing in more thoughts of like, oh, I think I need to like be more enabling and probably more connecting with other career coaches in the space and kind of talking about this more, because I actually don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this way.
I would doubt it. Not to like
doubt that they think this way, or they don't.
That's other people out there definitely have a heart, but I think the problem is you're just incentivized not to.
Yeah, I mean, I was broke for 2 years with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wasn't broke. I was not broke, but like I did go through the ringer because of it.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was normal, and I think it is, honestly. But I like to think that there are other people, or at least open a network or connect with just more people who are that way, who have the same even just mission of like more transparency and accessibility. Not even transparency, sorry, because there's so much information on the internet, the information age.
Yes.
Too much transparency.
Yeah.
What's real, what works, what's just hooey. But yeah, more accessibility to like the right knowledge that, I don't know, that people are willing to share. Because knowledge sharing, I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was a very like, I didn't have anyone repeat it back to me in that way. So that was really, my brain wheels are turning at the moment. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Nice. So how transparent do you think people should be?
Do you think transparency is honesty, or do you think it's just externalizing? Like, because I think people can be transparent without being fully honest.
Okay, cool. Because I guess there's two things.
Okay, cool. What? What do you mean?
No, you're on the same wavelength as I'm on.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like where my head's at with this is like in CPG world, obviously with Gold Drop, like I'm getting exposed to this whole other side of authenticity.
Another buzzword.
Yeah. I just
Love
drives
those.
me crazy. Like
What, the word, or just the people not being authentic?
people being too authentic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah. No, like, so for example.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. No.
No, I didn't expect that.
Because like, so my biggest problem with it is like, I think that there are things that you need to know and there are things that like you shouldn't know. Like, I do think there is a line. And
Okay.
I know this sounds crazy.
No. I'm actually intrigued.
Okay.
Keep going.
So for example, I don't want to speak too long about it because I like there's just so much that I could get into on like what I'm noticing. But like I'm gonna give a general one, and I'll just give an example about myself and something that happened so that I don't like call people out directly.
Sure.
So there's this like authenticity movement where if everything's chaos, you need to like share it with people and show that you're going through it too, and that like you're not hiding anything.
Oh. Okay.
That side of things.
Okay.
And like I'm all for that to an extent because I think it's important that we do stop putting on a front. Like, you know, the Instagram lifestyle of 2015 where
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it's evolved now to a very different type of version of that with certain types of profiles. But then there's other stories that like there's other people that are bucking that trend entirely. But to like to show how chaotic your life is as like I'm giving examples of like your kids are crazy and you're up till 5 a.m. and you're waking up at 7 a.m. and you have mental health problems and you're trying to do 3 different jobs. And
This is such an interesting take.
yeah,
Sorry.
and you can't and my problem is not that you're sharing this information. My problem is that if you're struggling with all of these things and you're trying to document it.
Okay.
To me, that's not prioritizing the right things. That's my issue. Yeah. And that's where the authenticity piece of things I think is wrong.
Okay.
Because if you're documenting the chaos, you shouldn't be living in chaos. Like you don't want to be living in chaos. And it's like, and in the moments where I'm living in chaos, because we all do, and we all struggle with like the mental health side of things or things going wrong. And then all of a sudden I decide to pull out a camera to be like, look how crazy things are. Like, I'm just like, I don't feel good. Like, I'm just like, and I'll put the camera away. And like, we were going to document the weekend. And then as soon as our maple syrup bottles exploded in transit, the camera went away and I went into action because we had a job to do and we had responsibilities. And it's like, you know, maybe I can talk about that after the fact. But like when I'm stressed about something, I go tunnel fucking vision to figure it out before I even think about documenting it or talking about it. And if I'm talking about it live, that just adds to the flurry of like insanity to me. So that's why I say there's a line, because it's not inappropriate to share it, but in my opinion, it's inappropriate not to take ownership of it and document it for the sake of sharing it. That's the crazy part, because that's not authentic.
Yeah. Okay. I know I was not sure where this take was going to go, but I get it now. Okay. I was like, whoa, where are we going with this?
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, you fully explained it. Basically, okay, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think it's okay to do these things as one-offs because you're trying to it's kind of like, again, like a bid for connection. Online, like you can be really alone when shit like that's happening. Sorry to swear.
No, we're here.
When you're like, I assume I'm not a mom, but when you're a mom with like little kids and you're up at 5 a.m. because you haven't slept, and there's the father's at work and like you have no one to talk to but little children, it's pretty lonely for 100%. A bit, I assume. So, but I think where I draw the line and understand where you're coming from is when people capitalize and do it as like a business and leverage it. To be noticed and be known for this chaoticness and not actually solving the chaoticness, whether that's like your kids aren't sleeping properly and you're not actually solving that problem, or who knows, like there's a lot of nuance to that. But I think the pattern of it and the leverage of it, but I get where you're coming from. I struggle with that because I can't do vlog style as much because when I'm with friends, I'm known as the person who's online. Like I'm the social person, but not when I'm with them.
Nice.
Like they know I do stuff online, but I never pull out my phone.
Yeah.
I forget to take photos. I have to remember consciously. It helps when I'm with someone who's on social media. Like my friend Cass, she's does social media. So like we remember, but other friends, I'm like, I'm not going to like put this in your environment. But the authenticity piece, I think, is also interesting when it comes to careers, because now people are like so willing to post these things about their lives for everyone to see, including employers. And whether or not they want to be employed, it doesn't matter. It's like kind of, once it's on the internet, it's kind of there.
Yep.
And so it's the connection bidding, or is it attention bidding? And is it worth like the trade-off of like your future opportunities? I don't think people are thinking that long term. I think people are looking for like just really the social media validation of the likes and the virality.
That's not authentic.
I know, exactly. But even if this scenario is authentic, it's real, like it's not manufactured, like the scenario is very real. The intent is not authentic.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can have an authentic scenario.
My issue.
Yeah. And I see where you're coming from, but that whole
You're like, hold on a second.
that whole, I wasn't sure where we were going with that, because I'm like, oh no, I'm like, because like the whole crying on camera thing.
Yeah.
The
thing is, I get it though. Like that's the weird part. Yeah, like I get it. Like it's not foreign to me to cry on camera, but it's
really cry.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry on camera. I don't think I'll cry on camera. But like, so like I've met many influencers who are large YouTubers and that kind of thing, and the parasocial relationship with a camera that begins to form around your life is astounding. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like a mental reconfiguration of how you live your life. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like it's a very, like, I will say it's a very skillful art to learn how to solo document your life, but it is a rewiring of how life needs to be lived. And that to me is the part that like,
performative over profound, it sounds.
In a way.
Yeah.
And you end up sharing, like people say, like you develop a parasocial relationship with the influencer on the other end.
Yeah.
The influencer equally develops that with the audience. The difference is they just don't know who the audience is.
Yeah.
And that's the rewiring of how we think about person to person interaction. And I also have a hard time believing that, like, as someone who does this, you're always curating no matter what. So even if it's authentic as a story, the experience of the on-camera version of it is not. And then, that's why I just was curious, like, what your level of transparency like should be. Because,
me answering your question with a question turned into a whole other segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so transparency, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to career coaching, like online or like even just HR advice, it's the opposite. I think it's more performative. It's not authentic. I also used to do this where online, and I still sometimes catch myself doing this, and I really want to be better at it, better at not doing it, I mean, is being preachy. And like, education is not about preaching. Like preaching is like a good mechanism for communication for a leader when they have a speech or when they have a message to come across, but not to break down complicated concepts into simple ones that anybody, no matter what their socioeconomic and like whatever intelligence, I can have the capability to communicate it to you somehow. Yeah. So I think a lot of the time on social media or like in articles, they feel very preachy, like the 5 steps to this, and like, oh God, I hate those. And I catch myself doing them because they work online, and I don't hate it, but I hate that they work.
Yeah.
And it does simplify a concept, but it does still sound preachy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm trying to steer away from that, but I think a lot of career advice online is not actually first catered to career advice. It's catered to social media to be seen and not necessarily understood.
Yeah.
At its core, or at a complicated level, but articulated in simple terms. The best way I could say it is, I think I've said this to you, and I think you appreciated it. And I always tell people I'm a career coach first, a content creator second. So whatever it takes priority, if I'm going to spend the most amount of time on something, it's going to be the career advice. And the video can be crap, and I have to be okay with that. Like the editing, you know what I mean?
Love that.
The amount of effort needs to, and because whenever I go through seasons where I'm like, the editing has to be this, and like my energy goes way too far into the social media side, the integrity of the advice gets lost. And yeah, like that's just comes with experimentation when you're trying to post advice online. And I realized that just does not mesh with me. And now I just like keep it simple, stupid, you know, with with the content. The advice, though, I really get really deep and into depth with the concepts. And I really try to come up with unique concepts. Because have you noticed that the online advice, career advice, is like pretty repetitive?
Yeah, so that was one thing you said the last time or in the last answer that also stuck with me is there's like two sides to this. So the one of them is they're actually both related. Sorry, your response to this and then this question.
Okay.
So you've kind of threaded this nicely. So
nice.
I worked with a photographer who had like hundreds of thousands of followers at one point.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a very cool guy. And he gave me some advice once because he could tell in my younger self that I was...
You're not old.
I'm not old, but
yeah.
they're 24 or 25-year-old me was a very different person. But he could tell I was getting caught up with the numbers because I was just growing so fast. And and he basically said like, the problem with perpendicular to you, I don't know, like adjacent
parallel?
to you, parallel to you is a content creator niche. And like we use our cameras as our personality. So I was fitting into that, and I felt like I had no personality because like the art you make is who you are on your social media presence, and so people follow your account because of the art, not for you. So you make sick videos, or you teach tutorial tips, or like all that nonsense. So it becomes very transactional in a way because it's like you make art and then they like you, and then you make more art and then they like you more, and that's the relationship. And so he basically recognized that like I was growing quickly, I had this relationship as well, and he says to me like, you have to remember that social media is second.
Yes.
It has to be a thing and social. And I didn't understand what he was saying because the way he built his brand was on the surface photography, but underneath it was fashion and watches and cars. And,
oh, cool. He sounds cool.
Yeah, he's cool. And behind the scenes, he was a luxury photographer for Hermes and Patek Philippe and Audi and Mercedes and all of these things. Yeah.
Oh.
And
nice.
Yeah, and he didn't necessarily advertise how intentional and strategic he was with what he posted on Instagram to land these clients. So 25-year-old me took this to heart and was like, oh shit, like it's not about how to use leading lines and how to like take pictures of light and depth and basic photography concepts. And that's the game. That's you feeding the machine.
Yep.
That's taking advantage of your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Versus I'm going to post photos of Mercedes cars because I can establish relationships with Mercedes and build a business that I already have that already exists.
Yes.
So you have to like know what is actually real and tangible, and then build the, like for lack of a better word, the marketing material around that. And I think if you don't have that grounding thing, you get lost so quickly because it's very easy to share the basic tips in any niche because that's what works, because there's more beginners than experts. So you get locked into beginner shit all the time.
Yep.
Because obviously there's 100,000 beginners and then there's 1,000 experts.
Right.
So obviously you're not talking to experts. And that's why it's all the same stuff all the time, everywhere, all of the time.
Yeah, I feel that. No, I it's crazy because when I was first doing career coaching online, it felt transactional because people really, I still kind of feel this way. People really like to listen to my advice. Awesome. You guys think I'm smart. Great.
Yeah.
I love that. But, and it works. But whenever I post things about like my background story behind things, it's people really don't care. They want the template. They want to be baby fed, like spoon fed. They want the template. They want the script.
Yeah.
To say in the interview.
They just don't know what they need to know yet.
Yeah. It's funny because how do you know you should take that from me? And I guess, you know, my credibility in a sense, or my followership or whatever. But like that whole piece really became hard for me to wrap my brain around because I thought, okay, well, if I can kind of like change the way I do social media, maybe people will like care about it. And at this point, I like after doing it for so long now, I'm just like, I don't even care about the format I'm doing things in. I just need to care about what I'm talking about. And lately, what I've noticed, at least not recently, I would say last year, I sort of lost my voice kind of to...
Cool. Yeah.
No, yeah, so, kind of to the it's not cool.
No, it's not cool. What are you saying?
You lost your voice. Cool.
No, you found your voice.
Yeah. Found it, I would say, in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Again, I had it at the beginning. And
everybody goes through this.
Yeah, it's...
I'll tell you that right now.
It's annoying.
We all go from crazy content creator to what the hell am I doing? To, oh, now this is the real thing.
Yeah, and career coaching, like more like career industry expert is kind of what I am or who I am at my core first. But I lost my voice. I was just putting out the normal like advice content that we were talking about, the 5 steps and the templates. And I still do those every once in a while because I want people to have resources, but I'm now like a lot more opinionated online. Like I'm very much my whole voice now in the past 6 months, I changed it. It's like be bold, be hired, and be leadership material. And like the be bold part is like really important to me because that's like a scary thing to do, is be bold. Like you're putting yourself out there to be scrutinized. And I was scared, to be seen. And I think people are really scared to be fully seen, and they'd rather just be seen at the safety level that the algorithm prefers. And I resonate with that whole, like, what's your thing first? And then document it, because the authenticity can't be in social media. Like that's not real.
Yeah.
And so, I resonate with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That kind of...
I'm scared.
You're scared?
A little bit.
No, so one thing I wanted to ask you, and I don't want you to get offended by this question.
No, please.
Okay. What establishes credibility for you in what you do?
Yeah, great question. I get that question actually. I don't get it actually enough, but I get it more often probably than you think.
Okay.
But I don't think I get it enough. So the credibility aspect comes from my experience, like the testimonials. I have testimonials from people I've helped. I didn't just gain a following because my videos were flashy. In fact, if I were to go back to my videos 4 years ago.
Oh, they're all bad.
They're oh my God. I'll show you some of them after. You're going to be like, who is that person? It's insane. My voice, I sound like oh God. Anyway, so at the beginning, no, the only credibility I had was my own experience. And I knew that. And that is why I market validated it online. I didn't know if it was right. I didn't say, my experience is everyone's experience. And I didn't just start career coaching from that. I first actually market tested it online and said, okay, guys, try this. It works.
Goes. Yeah.
And people would. They would.
Nice.
100% they would return to the comments. All like, I wish I was exaggerating, but all the time people would be like, I got the job, or like because of you, or like because and it was actually kind of insane.
Yeah.
it was so validating that I was doing the right thing and giving the right breakdowns. But at the very beginning, I had no credibility. All I knew was my own experience. But now my credibility comes from building a network of like, I have a lot of connections with recruiters and connecting with them on like how things have changed kind of on the inside. I don't have an HR background. In fact, I think that's a pro.
Okay.
Hot take.
Yeah. Okay.
Hot take.
Okay.
Hot take. HR is about policy. It's about hiring people and hiring people for the business, not getting people hired for them to have a job. It's the opposite.
Nice.
The HR people work for the companies. I work for the people trying to get a job.
Cool.
So that's the difference. The credibility is just based on who you ask. Am I wrong?
There's so much in there that I could just start.
Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like truly did not start with credibility. And I think no one really does. You go into university with no credibility. Like you just a number your teacher gave you from a test. Like
this is the difference with entrepreneurship, and like that's why they always say like the degrees that you need are law and doctor and like those professions versus.
Who says that?
Really?
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. You're like I was a doctor.
That was ironic. No, not ironic. I was being sarcastic. Yeah.
No, but it's true, right? Because it's just like it's you can just make it. You can make it if you're resourceful enough in a lot of fields, not all of them. If you're resourceful, and that means learning, and that means experimenting, and that means trying, and then your pedigree is your experience versus
True.
Yeah, or like what you're able to do for other people. Those are your case studies. And like I laugh at myself because it was like when I was 25 and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna start an agency. And
hey,
like,
that's when I started.
Yeah. Oh, cool. There you
25.
go. But it's funny just to think about, because you're like, you know, my other clients, like I had a few clients that were older, but most of my clients were either few years older than me or max like 38.
I would get older clients too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel that. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Continue.
Why?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm curious why you think you had like older clients.
Well, I think a lot of people just think I'm older.
Can I just say I did think you were older than me, but not by much.
Okay.
Like
thanks.
a couple years.
I had a lot of people.
I'm being honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, I get 38 a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people ask if I have kids. Like I had one guy at the trade show actually talking to me, and he just kind of goes like, yeah, us like older millennials, do you have kids? Like, and he's just like, and I'm just like, oh my goodness me.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
Meanwhile, 96 is like the last millennial / could be Gen Z.
And here I am talking about like being, people think I look younger. You're like F off.
I got the opposite problem.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
got the
shut
opposite
up.
problem.
Fair. Oh,
But,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, so I actually not that I was disingenuous, but like I just would never tell people my age because
you don't need to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, people assume that when I first started at 25, people thought it was like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like the scrutiny online.
I can imagine.
Was awful.
Yeah.
My very first video that popped off and got me started. You're 12 years old. Like, don't listen. What possible experience could you have?
Yeah.
Like what? And I'm like, do you understand that two 25-year-olds can be standing next to each other and one can have like 8 years of experience and one can have one?
Yeah.
Like really, like think about it. The age doesn't really matter.
It's true.
So anyway, I just think that it's a pro sometimes to be like, I guess, age ambiguous too. Because I'm assuming at 25, they probably thought maybe it was more either way because you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now I'm the opposite. Like now people are like, yeah, I guess I'm in that stage where like you could be 26, but you also could be 34. Like I really don't know. And so I actually tend to tell people my age, which is so interesting. Do you find that? Have you ever told people your age with work?
No, I let them figure it out.
You let them figure it out, or just assume?
I'll let them assume as long as they don't ask me. I'll never bring it up.
Right.
Ever.
To be a man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. In fact, I probably should. You're actually enlightening me to be like, I probably should not say my age. But I do think being young is actually a bonus. And if you have an older look, that's fine. They
I
related
agree.
to you just visually,
Yeah.
but being younger is you have a fresh outlook, and I think it's actually a pro, honestly, in my opinion.
I agree too.
Yeah.
Fully. But I just like I know I call it it's in my mind it's a superpower
Nice.
because I could always sneak into a room. Like I've never been ID'd. I was going to tell you that the other night. I've never been ID'd.
Like never?
He came with me to the LCBO when
He's
I
pointing
turned
at his friend
19.
Justin.
And my friend Justin was sitting behind the camera.
Yeah.
You remember we went to the LCBO and I turned 19 and we just walked out with like hard liquor. Yeah.
That's so disappointing because
Yeah.
you're like,
I know I wanted to get ID'd. I literally left. I'm like, we literally came to get ID'd. Like we just left.
it's like the salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It's the salt and pepper.
Which is
like
new.
Is it?
2 years.
That's not new.
Thanks.
That's not
No,
new.
honestly, it might even be like a year ago.
Okay.
Like a year ago, it really started to show up. And
Okay.
it's this like weird chin patch I got going on.
Why do you think it's weird? Do you want to unpack the
My chin
yeah.
patch.
But the age thing,
Yeah,
that's
the age
I
thing.
get it. Like well, I don't fully get it, but I get how it could be a pro,
Mhm.
but it also could be a con.
Yeah.
Because it could be seen as intimidating if people are like, "Oh, you're much older." And,
Well, my
yeah.
problem is I can't like on that side of things. It's great for professional settings. It's awful for making friends because so actually to answer this fully now that
Oh.
you just triggered this on me. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to whenever I'm in a room with people my age in my 20s, then I have to find a way to tell my age as fast as possible because otherwise people default to thinking I'm mid 30s and I'm kind of like a write off because they're like, "Oh, he's so much older than us." Like I went on this one trip, for example, with a client. We went to Iceland,
Yes,
and
you
I
told
was
me
like
about
27, or I think I was 27 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked 33 or so, like older. And most of
Okay.
the people on that trip were 24 to 29, and I didn't say my age for like maybe the first day, and then it came out, and the whole bus of people I was traveling with were just like, "No way!"
They
you're
were
as old as us."
flabbergasted.
Yeah, and that was when I realized, like, fully, like, okay, now I'm looking like mid 30s, like now, because I was getting away with like, "Oh, you're 28," like,
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I was mid 30s, and it was like, now it's a problem.
You're like the gray. It's
Yeah, yeah.
honestly probably it was
Yeah.
the
Starting.
Yeah, it was probably that.
So yeah, age is a factor,
100%.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really hard to be taken seriously when you're either seen as, well, for me at least, when you're seen as young, but then it's hard to make friends. It's the
Yeah.
inverse.
Yeah.
I have no problem making friends. I have so many. I don't have that many friends, but I probably definitely like have more relatability because I look younger. I do also have younger. Do you have younger siblings?
Younger sister,
Okay, how much younger?
3 years.
Okay, do you guys do you get her into like similar speaking things? No, right?
What do you mean?
Like I have a younger brother and a younger sibling. My brother is 2 years younger and my sister's 5. So I have a sister who's like full on Gen Z.
Okay.
Like 2000, born in
Yeah,
2000.
yeah.
And I think I growing up took on a lot of that Gen Z impressions. And I think I'm pretty, what do they call it?
Zillennial.
Zillennial.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pfft, that was a millennial moment. The fact that I couldn't remember. But I think
Yeah, we're on that cusp generation.
yeah, you more so, funny enough.
Yeah.
But I just realized I haven't said my age. So we're going to keep it that
Yeah, you
way.
did.
Did I?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Damn, I did.
You outed yourself.
Right at the
Yeah,
beginning.
right at the beginning.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, I'm proud of it. I actually love being 30. I think it's like, I hated 29.
Fair enough.
I hated 29. So 30 is just, I think I'm just proud of it. I really think a lot has changed and turned for the better
Cool.
as soon as I turned 30. So
Love
yeah,
that.
positive note to end on for that one.
Yeah, on that,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
question.
Yeah, age is such an interesting topic with that stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how do you coach somebody to embrace who they are in these interview settings? Like, do you find you're more of a personal development coach sometimes than career coach?
No,
Okay.
I don't like to.
Where's the line?
Yeah, shit. These are so existential. Well, here's okay. The question I always ask at the beginning of every call, okay? Because people usually are either in a career or they want to switch into a different one. or they're entering a brand new career, like they're brand new, like never had a career. And the question I always ask is, like, do you like your career? Cool, great. The real question is, do you? This is probably gonna feel to you more personal development, but for me, it's career focus. And it's like, do you like who you are in your career?
Okay.
Yeah, you can like a career. This is how I know. I've tried so many careers. I don't think I've told you all of these, but I have tried acting. I have tried stand-up comedy.
Hey.
I have tried.
I see those videos.
Nope. I have tried. I have auditioned to be a spin instructor. I had like 2 years of being very into spin, and I was like, I would see the people on the podium and be like, I can totally do that. And I auditioned. I actually didn't get it, and I thought that was like so interesting because it's kind of coaching, but in a different setting. Also, but it's an audition. It's not a traditional interview. Like you have to do a full on thing. But anyway, like, did I like who I was while I was doing those things, like stand up comedy or acting, or when I was coding? Do you like who you are while you're doing the career? And people really get stumped by that, and I think that's a good thing. If you know the answer off the bat, like, yes, I love who I am. And usually when I ask people why, then they get stumped. And I'm like, what, like, messages, like, not fake messages, but external messages have you been fed that, like, you think you like your job or who you are in your job, but you actually don't? So anyway, I find I have to ask a lot of questions in my coaching calls to really understand where people are coming from. Are you an extrovert, introvert? Do you externally process, internally process? Do you believe you're capable? Half the time people are like, I don't even know how I got this interview. I'm like, okay, let's start with that. Like, we can't practice for an interview you don't even think you can deserve. Like, that is moot.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds, I hate to say it, but a little woo-woo, but you have to kind of get through those, like, questions.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. That is an existential self-awareness.
Yeah.
How many people have good self-awareness that you deal with?
Usually the people who come to me, I send them like a preparation form to, like, you need to prepare, like, what are the things that you believe you need to work on? And I kind of provide things. But if are you asking just like who I have coached, or do you just mean in general?
Well, yeah, I just so I mean I'm curious in general in your experience, but I assume you meet a lot of people in general. And so I think that it's one of those things that, like, there's a sample size bias where it's like those looking for a career, there's a different level of self-awareness with that sample versus who you might interact with on a regular basis. Because in my world, if I'm going to sample the content creators that I shoot with all the time, high level of self-awareness. Like, yeah. Artists, they know they don't want to do 9 to, like, they know exactly what they want. They know who they are. They're going to embrace who they are. Like, they're cool people. You know, but the opposite to, like, people looking for jobs, maybe.
Yeah, I think self-awareness is a luxury.
Not saying that people looking for jobs don't have self-awareness.
No.
I'm just assuming, like, I'm just curious what that actually is.
No, I understand. Yeah. Your main question was, do I think people have good sense of self-awareness?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert, obviously, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to speak to my experience. But I think being self-aware is a luxury. Like, you have to have time and space to, like, actually be self-aware. You can't be self-aware with a million distractions everywhere. When you're trying to be financially stable, support a family, trying to be out of debt, trying to like, I'm not saying you can't be self-aware during these things, but it makes it playing on hard mode.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs set themselves up to have the space to be self-aware. And another thing a lot of self-aware people do that most people don't do. So going in line with theme where you're like, most people, I think, who go into jobs aren't maybe as self-aware, maybe. I don't know if that's what you're alluding. I know you said no, but people who are self-aware typically, like, ask for feedback. and don't just rely on their own perceptions. And when I say feedback, I mean not like necessarily always on you, but like what did you think of that? That's feedback on something. And I think that people who are looking for jobs, sometimes it can be really, it could be a silo. Like it can be really individual and lonely. Like people who are looking for jobs aren't congregating with other people who are looking for jobs and being like, let's help each other. Yeah. Like you would think this maybe sometimes on social media or LinkedIn, it's like and share for reach and all that stuff. Yeah. But people aren't coming together and being like, yeah, like, how do we do this? And oh, you should work on this with your interview. Like they come to career coaches for that. Mm-hmm. But in the entrepreneur world, like I can probably come to you now and be like, hey, what do you think I said on that podcast that we did? And it was so dumb. Like, did you think it was dumb? And you're going to be like, yes or no. and I would appreciate that. But people who are in the jobs are like alone, like kind of in their own journey.
Yeah.
And although entrepreneurs are too, they have the luxury and privilege to have space and like a community of people.
Yeah, fair.
And I think that's the difference. It's really hard to be self-aware again when you're like being chased by a bear. When
yeah,
you're in a
well, so question though, because let's say you're in a manic state, and let's say like
manic, okay,
manic, yeah, I'm chased by a bear, I'm manic.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But like when it's high stakes, looking for a job,
yes,
a lot of the time for people when they either they care about it or they don't have like financial means at the moment and need it.
Right.
Yeah.
But then do you need self-awareness to be successful?
Good question. I don't think it's a means to an end. I think you can philosophy. That's called a callback.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the comedy space.
World.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, I just careers in HR, it is philosophy. Like it's
true. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Well, so
do you need self-awareness?
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's a means to an end. I think you can gain self-awareness on your way to being successful. I think you can only think so much, and you can only gain self-awareness from doing and being not self-aware. Like
it's a journey.
It's like if I do something that demonstrates I'm like unobservant of my social scenario right now. Like I say something super outrageous and it's like, whoa, this is not the social setting for that.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
And you go, Emily, that was not a part of the scenario here. Like this is like, let's backtrack. And now I'm like, hey, okay, now I have some feedback. I now know like I need to be more self-aware of those things. And like sometimes you can gain that from like growing up and how you're raised. And sometimes people learn that as an adult and just doing things. And so my long-winded answer is you do need to be self-aware to finally feel successful. But you can be successful like in a journey along the way. Like success is, I don't think like one stop.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but the feeling of success can be one stop. Like you're like, I still don't feel successful, even though you are to a lot of people. You probably won't feel it until you feel self-aware.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
the worst
response ever.
Yeah. Clearly. Yeah. Did that not answer your question?
No, that did answer my question. Okay. It's just because it's like something, why it's interesting is because it was something that I came across recently. There was like this thing about Michael Phelps, because obviously the Olympics were just on.
Yes.
Winter Olympics. And it was about his coach and Michael Phelps's mom, when he made the first Olympics at 15 years old, I believe, put like a massive sign or something on the front lawn of their house to congratulate him for coming to the Olympics.
Wow.
Or like getting into the Olympics.
Yeah.
And his coach went to the house because it was invited for like a party or something.
Yeah.
Before Phelps got there and tore it all down and got mad at his mom because he said that why would you do that to celebrate? This is the first step of the rest of what we've been training for his entire life. So if you do this now, it's the end, but this is the beginning.
Oh.
And it's a little bit cheesy, but apparently it's a real story.
It's not, I don't think it's cheesy. It's like hitting me in the gut right now.
And the idea is that like, if you put this sign on his lawn to say, wow, you're going to the Olympics, what are you going to do when he wins a gold medal? Buy him a car, buy him a house. Yeah. And so it's this idea that like, you're never arrived. And then that's why I was thinking with what you're saying, that like self-awareness is just an ever-changing story of the same path.
Yeah, but I also added the layer. That's a great story. I did not know that
It's a
about
cool
Michael
one.
Phelps. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's real. I read it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're like, don't source me.
Just be some AI thing.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But
But
the moral of the story is good.
the difference I was trying to say with that is like feeling successful versus being.
Okay.
From the outside looking in, you could be successful compared to a lot of people.
Right.
But you might not feel successful because you lack that self-awareness, or at least that full self-awareness, until you like get to a point where you're like, no, like I'm actually doing the thing I like to be doing. I might not making the amount of money I want to be making yet, but like, damn, I'm doing the thing I like. This feels pretty successful. And you need to be really self-aware to understand, like I told you with Toronto, I place a lot of value. I didn't say this in the podcast, but I in Toronto, I placed a lot of value on status and money and my job title and career, and I completely lack self-awareness of like where I found joy, because I thought those were things I would find joy until I got it, and I was like, wait a minute, I want more than this, like more, not in terms of scale, but more in terms of like breadth.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, that's cool.
We're getting like very existential here,
Yeah.
more than I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
So you thought I was going to be like, how do you run your business?
Oh Lord.
What's your favorite color?
I'm actually glad you didn't purple. I'm actually glad you didn't ask those questions, because I'm not a big business model person. I'm a big experimenter, and I test until something lands, and that's my business model.
Nice.
And then I'm like, okay, how do we scale the thing that worked with integrity?
Right.
And then you go from there. But I've learned that business modeling, for me, it can't be the first step. It's usually second. So
Fair
I'm glad
enough.
you didn't ask.
Cool. Look at that.
That's my short answer to the question you never asked. Yeah. Yeah.
So then my next question would be, so as a freelancer, in my case, photo, video, I always struggled with hiring people.
Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, in general, like hiring people is stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But in my industry, there's a little bit of cachet, I think, with being your own creator. I'm not going to say being your own boss, but that's effectively what I mean.
Yeah.
Because everybody with a camera wants to make what they want to make. So if you hire somebody to make something for you, eventually they're going to go off on their own because they want to make what they want to make.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah. And that happens like so often.
Yeah.
And then scaling a creative studio is next to impossible, because you have to find such a good group of people to really build that with, because there's no clear line of job description in the creative field nowadays, unless you're really working in like bigger productions, then it's a lot more defined.
Okay.
So my one question was, what's your general advice then to businesses, since you say that that's where you're now working, to make sure they get the right hire?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you're going with that. Yeah. Oh gosh. So it's funny. I wish I had more hands-on experience with helping companies hire. I mostly help with like marketing their like career education or their job postings, but I do have advice for that.
Okay.
And I really wish companies would spend more time on like listening to interviewees and giving them more reign, kind of like how you said, like let them figure out what the structure is. But the problem is with that is bias comes in.
Okay.
The reason there's a reason for structured interviews, and it's to take away bias. So like with a panel, that's helpful. That's another method to take away bias. But I think, so just speaking to you with your scenario, like if you were to hire someone, I think because that's how you like to interview, I would try and interview people with that, but have some sort of structure in mind, or some sort of method, like a panel, have another photographer come in and help you out. Some sort of structure that can create unbiased and new perspective, because I would assume what would happen with a freelancer that's trying to hire someone, they have bias, which is good. You should have like company culture for yourself. You're like, I want to like this person, and you should. But sometimes the person that you like, oh, I jive with this person, isn't like going to be the most coachable or like the best person to hire. In a dream world, it's both.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to have a mechanism. Basically, what I'm trying to say is interview someone in the style that you like to be interviewed and find success in that, but have a mechanism that will remove bias. So if you're going to hire an assistant, maybe be like, the interview is going to be 30 minutes. It's going to be open-ended. I'm actually going to have you take the reign and ask me questions. I'm going to ask you questions, of course, but I want to see where you take it. And bring another person to provide an objective perspective. They're going to write whatever rating, whatever it is, however you want to do it. But there needs to be an unbiased mechanism, because it's going to, what people really struggle with when they interview, let's say you were to interview like 20 people, you're going to like probably a quarter of them if you vet them right.
Okay.
So 5.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you choose 1 out of 5?
Yeah, then what?
Interview them again. How are you going to remove the bias? Well, you're going to get to know them even more in the second interview. There's going to be more bias. And so, and like, whether it's like just inherently based on race or based on like their perspective, it could be based on like their vision and creativity with photography, even though they're not even taking the picture, just their perspective. They're the assistant. Or maybe they are taking a picture because they're the assistant. Sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking admin assistant.
No worries.
Yeah, anyway, it's more so have in place a mechanism to remove bias, but at the same time, structure your interviews in the way that you like to be interviewed, and that will usually make it a pleasant experience for you and not feel like an admin thing, and then you end up hiring someone out of like a chore. Cool. Those would be my 2 pieces of advice.
Cool. Have you tried hiring for yourself?
Yeah, I have. I have hired people. I had an assistant in my first year when I was broke.
Okay. Why'd you need an assistant in your first year?
I don't know. I thought I needed one.
Everybody has an executive
Everyone
assistant.
thought they needed one.
Yeah.
I loved her. Her name was Carissa.
Okay.
I knew her from my like high school sweethearts, high school, and met her at like,
wow.
It was like from
That's
like just like like Instagram, from Instagram. And she's awesome. Shout out Carissa. And she started her own personal assistant business.
Good
Like,
for her.
she's business lady.
Sure.
But she is. Yeah. And recently I've hired some like social media content management when it comes to like building out carousels.
Okay.
I'm really good with videos, but I'm like, I don't know how to do a cool carousel. So like,
they are a lot of work.
They are. But what's funny is I actually hire these people very interim because I'm kind of using it. I'm paying them kind of to teach me.
I see.
So how I find these people are typically through network. I don't usually do a traditional job posting. I put it on my story or I post on LinkedIn, not just like a post. Put my email and requirements, and I like usually just do one interview, and I have a structure for it. So that's my bias removal. And I usually like kind of figure out what the core mission for everyone is and if it aligns with mine. I never tell people what my mission is or what the goal is, actually. They hate that. It's like how you didn't tell me the questions for today. They're like, so what's the goal? And I'm like, honestly, I just want you to tell me what you think I need. And people hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because the second interview is when when I hire them is when I tell them. And it's a short turnover. Like, it's like I don't make them wait the next week. Like, I usually tell them after. I tell a few people. And if they align with it, I want them to be excited.
Right.
They usually are when they know who. I want you to want to work with me first and then my mission second. I think that might be a hot take, but people quit because of people.
Oh, yeah. Fully.
Yeah, you can love the mission. But if I suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to, I usually just like do it that way. And that usually helps me enjoy the process and hire the right people. And so, yeah, I've hired a few people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then what's the future look like for you? on your hiring journey or
Oh
growth
my
journey
God.
or what? For this business?
Existential again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what is your mission?
Well, how many years? What's future to you?
I was trying to not ask you what your mission was, because that was my follow-up, because I'm curious what you do tell people. And then I was going to ask you how the mission evolved, but instead I wanted to just ask, like, in the next 3 to 5 years, what are you trying to do?
Oh. So at my core, my I just realized what I said. At my core, my mission is to create universally adaptable advice
Okay.
for everyone and anyone to remain accessible, to allow people to feel capable and succeed. That's like at the end of the day what it is. And the future for me, I can only really think like in 2 years sprints, honestly. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the future past 32 looks like. But I think for me, I really want to build some sort of like it's like with accessibility, you know, I use that in like a more serious term. Like I want everyone to know the knowledge and be able to use it at an equal level playing field. Lord, we've been talking. And on the other side of things, I now want to make things accessible where it feels not boring. I want to make career advice and career paths not boring. I think content, despite it being vlog or like online or like people's careers feel boring because that's what they see it should be, and they settle for that. And I just find that if you're going to spend majority of your waking adult life in a place that you think is boring, your life is boring inherently. And I want to make people's careers not just purposeful, but more fun, have more joy in them. And I know that sounds like a blanket statement, but what, in terms of tangible things that I want to achieve and what the future looks like in 2 years, I would love to have my own studio, to have like an agency where I'm interviewing businesses and people who have like the craziest career path. Like there are some Olympians that literally started training 8 months before the Olympics and they're in the Olympics. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like people pushing a bobsled 8 months ago and they're like, I'm doing this now with 4 people. Like what? So like that's insanity to me. And that's like a joy but accessible way to show people that a career is honestly a man-made concept and like really it's doing something that you feel joy doing. I really don't want to overcomplicate it and just keep it very simple. So yeah, would love a studio and agency to just share my knowledge with and have what's it called? What do they call it? Bounce ideas off of? A soundboard.
Oh, okay.
To have a soundboard, have new perspectives as a content creator and a career coach. I'm working by myself a lot. So I would love a team. I would love working in a team and going into businesses to show behind the scenes and like kind of like what you do a little bit. Cool. Yeah, that inspired it a little bit. That's like something I think would be so cool.
Undercover boss, but in your own way.
Yeah. Oh my God. Those were scripted.
They were scripted.
Those were scripted.
They were scripted. 100%.
Those were crazy shows. Yeah.
No, but in a way, I think that's there's like a lot of opportunity there, I think. Because like you need to, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Tell me. I was just saying, yeah.
No, no, I think there's like, kind of like what you were saying, like why I think it's kind of cool what you're up to and where I think you might be able to take this is that, I just hated career education in university.
Oh yes, you talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah. And that's kind of the like my take on what you're up to is you're almost like discovering what career education needs to become in your own experience and the like so yeah. And so my philosophy on every industry is that every industry is getting disrupted by digital in some way. And what surprised me about you is that you've stumbled into the career coaching kind of side of it as your own experience, like intentionally and unintentionally in a lot of ways. But and you're a part of the sort of like digitization of that industry.
Yeah.
And like in CPG world, like alcohol was the last one to fall. And that was 2022-ish. It kind of all converted. And I never considered the career coaching side of it. So there's a lot you can do here. There's a lot of white space, and there's a lot of things that
Okay, I'll have to
that's
pick
why
your
I
brain.
thought this would be a cool conversation, because I
Yeah.
wanted to get your take on like how this is all changing, where your ideas are. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Actually, it's all starting recently, so it's very cool. I found it took a lot of. I'm the type of person, and I think you're the same, where I need to be doing like 1,000 things at once.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the problem with doing that all the time is you just can't sit in silence and really like think.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can think, well, all those things, 1,000 things are happening, but you're not really like thinking like in depth, with enough time to let it simmer, like boiling water. Like you need to let it boil.
Yeah.
But I recently did this where I was like, where do I find joy in my work? Like truly. And I had to like really write down, I find joy in this aspect. What do I not like? And I did it so intuitively. I didn't overthink it. Just wrote it down. You know what? One thing I did not say and I found joy, I found so interesting, is yap.
Oh, okay.
I didn't write yap.
Wow.
I didn't write yap.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was moving on and I went back. I'm like, oh my God, I wrote so many things. I like writing. What else did I write? I like people. Oh, talking to people or asking questions. And what's it called? Learning. I love learning. But like for some reason, intuitively, I forgot to write yap. I'm like, do I not like yapping anymore?
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
What happened here?
But it's funny because I think it's not that I don't like it anymore. I think it's more I want more joy in other things at this moment. But I've broken it down to now what I think careers should be broken down more into for people is, for me, it's people, movement, learning, writing, and showing up. If I'm not doing all those things in a day, I know that sounds like a lot, but in some way, shape, or form, movement could be just like moving and going to a coffee shop, not sitting in my own apartment all day. But I literally asked him, like, to have the best day and not necessarily like have the best outcomes, but feel the best, what are the things I need to get done? And so those are the things. And I feel like to go back to your question, what does the future look like? I feel like I can't even think that far ahead because I'm thinking about how I'm feeling each day. And that's like pretty present.
Yeah.
But also, these questions have really like helped me align the two.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was really helpful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to kind of
I know.
land the plane.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd want to share? Or do you think we covered this for part 1? For the next time I come to Vancouver?
Says part 1.
Part 1. You're on the hook.
That's so funny.
Just who knows? Maybe it's in 5 years we can recap.
Oh, right.
So
yes,
it's never see you. It's see you later, right? What do they say?
That was so cringy.
I said that. Someone said that to me yesterday at the trade show. And that's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you like it or hate it?
I thought it was sweet.
You used it, so you liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was sweet. And I was like, well, so I had an old manager at a bar.
Hilarious. We tried to end and you're like, I have a
story. Here's a story.
Yeah. Okay, manager at a bar.
They said it to me a long time ago. And I've never said it to anybody. And then someone said it to me yesterday. And then I remembered that moment and from like way back. And I was like, wow. Like flashback. Yeah, it was weird.
And you thought today was a good time to try it?
So I brought it back up.
Okay.
In any case, the podcast would love to have you back.
Yay.
So you're like, great.
That's so fun. No, I would love to.
Yeah.
I just, I appreciate the questions. I hope someone out there got some value from it, even if it's just one person, even if it's you. You're like, I'm the only person. But I know there's like several people that watch this and also people who follow your content, and hope that like transfers in some way. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been exciting. Yeah, we've literally hung out like this entire weekend. This is the end. So yeah, we're good to go.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Brock. Appreciate it. Yay! Oh my God. You guys did this all day yesterday? Yapped? See, I like yapping, but not that much.